Hey everyone, welcome to this little training today. Today we have Sinead joining us from Offering Tree. I'm really excited that she's here to give you this presentation. And what she's going to do is go over, first of all, just why a yoga teacher needs a website. There's some really important points that she's going to go over. And then also, how can you use Offering Tree as your website? And then also, if you wanted to start to add in some online offerings like courses and things like that, videos, how could you use Offering Tree as your one-stop shop for everything? So welcome, Sinead.
Thank you, Crystal. I'm so glad to be here. So, hi, everybody. My name is Sinead. I work for Offering Tree, and I'm also a yoga teacher. I'm based in Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada. So, I've got my own little yoga business, and I work for Offering Tree. So, I kind of see those two sides of the coin. So, really excited to be here today. And the quick overview of who and what Offering Tree is. So, we're an all-in-one software for all kinds of wellness professionals, yoga teachers, other movement practitioners. And it's a website with a lot of extra features built in, and there's kind of different levels of the plan, and we can serve everyone from like this, the individual teacher, the solopreneur, we call them, starting out, all the way up to like multiple studio locations. And yeah, I'm going to guide you through some of the points, first of all, on why you need a website, and then I'm going to flip into the back end of Offering Tree and show you the initial setup steps of how simple it is to build a website in Offering Tree. So yeah, let's get started. So do you need a website? This is what we hear a lot, especially with our solopreneurs coming into the software. Do I need a website? Why do I need a website? So I'm going to guide you through a couple of the things that we find with our community. So starting off with your journey with yoga, we all start off coming out of our training. We're trying to develop our skill set. We start to understand what parts of it really resonate with us, which part of the 8 limbs we want to take forward. And we've got our own unique style, right? And our own way of teaching and sharing our message with the world. So how can we share it in a simple and effective way? How can you communicate and build a community? How can you share everything that you know? That's usually our first stumbling block, isn't it? It's like, wow, I've got all of this intel, all of this info, but still only scratched the surface of yoga. How am I going to take it out? Do I have the right to take it out? Is it okay for me to share this message, and who wants to hear it? All of these things that we go through. And how can you become visible and share that message and build the community around you, establishing yourself as that professional yoga teacher? And these are the ways that a yoga website can help you sort of move forward in your yoga journey. So first of all, we talk about this mindset shift with our yoga teachers, that when you initially train, it's like, am I a solopreneur? Am I a business owner? But if you're charging money for yoga, if you're getting paid for your teaching, and you should be, by the way, you should be getting paid for it, it's valuable, then you are a business owner. And that means you've got expenses, you've got things that you need to think about. You need to learn a little bit about marketing. You need to learn about putting yourself out there. And a website can simplify that for you. So when you have that website, it increases your online visibility. It can make you a more credible person. People are going to look for you and find that validation that you're out there. It allows you to build your community, and it enables you to grow into your business as you move through your yoga journey. So digging in a little bit into those ideas for visibility. If you're not there online, then people can't find you, right? You might be on Instagram, you might be on Facebook, but people have to search on those platforms for you. Everybody searches everything these days, right? The first thing you think is, oh, you hear about something, let me Google it. Who's that? A website is the landing place. They're going to find you. They're going to know right away that you're there. So if you're not there, they cannot find you. A website is your virtual storefront where they can learn about you. So not only can they find you, they can learn if you resonate with them. And we'll talk a little bit about how to make that obvious right away on your website, and the tricks that you have to have in the website to make yourself connect to the right people. And a website gives a space for you to develop your brand and sort of become uniquely you as you progress. And then we've got the credibility piece. Having a website adds credibility and professionalism. It shows that you take your teaching seriously. It allows you to set yourself apart from other teachers and yoga businesses. You're really establishing yourself, and you can showcase yourself your skills to prospective studios and job opportunities. So if there is a retreat that you want to teach at, if there's a studio you're dying to get into, you can show them your website. This is who I am. Here's the community that I've built around it. Here's the things I can bring to your business. Do I match? Am I a good fit for you? Are you a good fit for me? And importantly, you can get a discount on some of the expensive clothing brands as well. I found out this when I first started teaching. It was like, well, can we see your yoga website? Can we see your schedule? Validate the fact that you're a teacher to us. We can't have anyone just walking in here getting a 25% discount. So that's always worth thinking about. And then building your community. So the website, especially an Offering Tree website, has email marketing built in. And this is absolutely crucial because if you're relying on social media, as Crystal knows, you're relying on Instagram, Facebook, your contacts are only there. If those websites, if those platforms go down, you're going to lose everyone. You don't have a way to be in touch with those people, but also you're relying on algorithms, you're relying on something that changes daily for those posts to be seen, for people to communicate with you. When you have a website, you have this way of collecting in such a simple way all of your students' email addresses. Anyone that visits there's a little pop-up that I'll show you that you can collect email addresses, and then you can start sending out your little message. It's just little emails once a month, every 2 weeks, once a week, whatever you want to do, having these little nuggets of information, sharing with people, building a community. So I have a friend who started off being my yoga teacher, and over the journey of me knowing her, I got on her email list. She sends out an email every Sunday night, even when she's on vacation, because it's not like this big, well thought out email. It's like a blurb of thoughts. She's a very funny person. She shares these random stories. So you always know you're going to get a smile out of her email. It ties into a little bit of yoga in a couple of sentences at the bottom. And then she shares where I'm teaching this week. Did you know I'm doing a pop-up class here? I'm subbing here. This is my regular schedule. So you know where you can reach her that week. And she's always top of mind because she's always in my email and I always read her emails. So it's a really simple way of nurturing your community, telling them who you are and bringing them in. They might unsubscribe to your emails. That's fine. They're not your people. The people who want to hear from you are going to open those emails, and you're going to grow that community around you through that. So the email addresses let you keep in touch. It's belonging and loyalty for them and for you. And it gives your students a way of staying connected to you and connected to each other as well. They feel like they're part of a community. You can also write blogs if you've got bigger ideas to share, or you want to share it as a blog, you can do that. And the email newsletters, that's sending out something, usually monthly, people send out newsletters that's more of an overview of what you're doing. So those are some ways that you can build the community and you can grow your yoga business. Sorry, my throat's become very dry suddenly. When you're ready to grow into your business and add extra elements, it might be a pop-up class, it might be a retreat or a regular workshop. There's lots of pages in the website to do it. So every quarter, like every 3 to 4 months, I run a pelvic floor workshop locally, and I set up a page, and on that page I share some videos that are like follow-ups to each class, and I share that page. It's secret to the rest of the world. Only people who have the link can see it, and I share that with the students so that in the class we learn certain things, and then afterwards they can log onto that page, practice a little bit more. Then when that workshop's over, I unpublish the page so nobody can see it, and then we go back the next time. So there's a way of really mobilizing the website to do what you need it to do for your business. And you can share things like online recordings, audio meditations, inspirational poems. You could email things out to people after a class if you want to. It's just a way to add that extra arm to your business as you're growing and thinking, you know what, I want to share this. I want to build a course. I want to do this. This is something I want to play around with. It's all already there on the basic plan. And if you wanted to offer private sessions or consultations to introduce yourself to people or start scheduling your own classes, all the capabilities are already there too. And then the last point is really establishing your brand. And this is something that you get to know the more that you're out there, the tone of voice, the colors that you like to use, your images on the website, having that brand that's uniquely you. You're allowed to be who you want to be. You don't need to follow anyone else's path. You're going to resonate with who you resonate with. And having a website really allows you to explore that and to easily change and update as you kind of morph into the person that you want to be and the yoga teacher that you want to be. So you can be creative and expressive. You're establishing your brand identity and your colors, your images. It's an exciting time. I love seeing the yoga websites where people have had like a photo shoot and you can see that they're having loads of fun with doing what they want to do and putting themselves out there. It's cool. So this is a quick sample of a website that we have on the Offering Tree software. This is Ty, is the yoga teacher's name. That is actually her in the picture. So you can see immediately that Ty is like an advanced yoga practitioner. That's great for her business. She's got very simple branding, right? The black and the white. Obviously, the blue website example is my text over the top. So if you're just looking at the Warata Yoga, the black line, very, very simplistic, but I think very sophisticated, it's just really concise. And it gives you a sense straight away of who Ty is. And that's the immediate thing you see when you land on her website. And we'll dig a little more into how to make your website look really good for you. So here, just a couple of the features for Offering Tree. We have we have 4 plans. There are 2 plans that are suitable for solopreneurs, 2 plans for studios. But in the very basic plan, everybody gets access to all of these features and some more because the team are just adding things in to the software all the time. So you get your website, you can schedule classes, you can do payment processing through Stripe, Google or Apple Pay. You can book appointments and they can pay for them. You can make unlimited pages, like I said, like workshop pages, anything that you need. You can run your email marketing, write a blog. There's an online store, which is where you would build courses. You can run memberships, you can sell packages for your classes, and there's payment plans. So if you have any of those big ticket items like a retreat or a teacher training, people can pay in installments. You can set all of that up to your own needs. And then a quick overview of the kind of pricing you'd be looking at. So you do get a discount with Crystal. You can get 50% off your first 3 months if you book a monthly plan, 15% off an annual plan. With Crystal's link, offeringtree.com/Crystal Gray Yoga. And these are the 3 pricing plans. The essential plan is $26 a month when you're on annual. The pro plan is $49 a month when you're on annual. And then I'm just adding in the studio light there because if anybody does work for like a small boutique studio, the studio light package is an absolutely fantastic price. So yeah, that's the overview of Offering Tree. All I would say to add to that is that we have a really big community of wellness practitioners in our Facebook group. The thing that makes Offering Tree stand apart, we didn't go for like the big venture capital funding that you hear from these software companies where they have to blow up really fast and make loads of money and onboard people. This is run by a small team. They are really connected to what the audience needs. And say, for example, you sign up for a plan and you decide it's not for you, there's no hard feelings. You're not going to get this sort of, oh, well, we're charging you for this. And there's a really good community sense with Offering Tree, and the guys are actually listening all the time. They're software developers in the Facebook group or by email. Listen to what you want to say, listen to what you need. If something's not working right, if something is needed, if you're like, oh, I think this could be improved, we want to know. And they build it in and the software grows and they don't start ramping up the price. It's all still part of this price. So that's kind of the differentiator, I think, for Offering Tree. It's a smaller company, organic growth, and the software team are really, really supportive. So obviously I'm a big fan, but that's all I'll say about Offering Tree and the price in there.
Well, I do
How
have
was
a
that, Crystal?
So if people have questions on how to do something, I'm actually not part of that Facebook group, but I'm wondering where's the best way for them to ask? Like, do you have a library of help videos? Should people ask in the Facebook group? Should people reach out directly to support? Like, what would you suggest?
Yeah, this is what's really cool. So we'll see people in the Facebook group who are like, who's done this and how did you manage this? And sometimes they're posting in the Facebook group things that need to go to support. So we're in there and we're like if it's me and I don't have the actual tech knowledge, I'll be saying email support. If it's one of the co-founders, then they might come back with the proper answer. But we say to people, if you're ever stuck, message support straight away. And that's the thing that we get the most feedback on, is that the support team are really responsive and really helpful. So usually support is the way to go. And the Facebook group is more people saying like, oh, hey, did anyone think of doing this for a course? Or where do you find your images? Or like, things like that, just sharing tips and tricks.
Okay.
And the people are really, it's really cool to see everyone engaging there and helping
Definitely.
each other. Okay, so I'll stop that screen share. I'm going to take you behind our website. Okay. Let me see if I can share this screen. Crystal, you let me know what you can see. Where did my share button just go? So I've built a website in staging, and I'm going to show you through this, but I do have my own website as well. So I'm going to show you the back end of my website a little bit, because this staging one, it's just, I wanted to show you like the very basic, the minute that you sign up for Offering Tree, what you'll see, and the first initial steps to go through it. So this is the back end. You can see my screen there, Crystal?
Yep.
So the back end of the website, you've got your dashboard over here on the left. And I'm going to go straight, well, let's start with site settings. So site settings is where you set your color palette. So I've just chosen this palette here from one of the preset palettes. But if you've got a palette that you want to make yourself, you can easily go in and adjust these. You can set your fonts, set your font size on the website. It gives you all these little settings. So it's pretty easy to set things up in there. Then the next thing on this tab is a lead generator. This is where you're collecting your emails. So this is going to come up. You've got your option, automatic pop-up. Do you want to ask clients to subscribe when they make a purchase? So if you want an automatic pop-up, how long before they're on the website do you want that to pop up? And the insights on this vary. So 10 seconds is usually a good time. Some people leave it a little longer. And then this is the pop-up that will say something here like, keep in touch, stay in the loop. Do you want to hear from me? And we can adjust it here really easily. Oh, spelling errors down here. And what you can also do, I've seen somebody do something really cool here. You can put a little GIF in this, and this is just some text that's preset there. You can change the button title from subscribe to sign up, or emails, or anything you want. And it's so simple to change, right? These are the things that you might initially come up against and think, I don't even know what to do with this. You can go back anytime you want and change it, because it's just right there. So that's your lead generator. Domain names, if you've already got a domain name in mind, you can ask the team to start using it. So mine for my own business is Yoga with Sinead. You can ask them if it's not already taken, they'll build it into your website. If you already have a website with a domain name, they can draw it across, and it's just one small flat fee to do that. The favicon, your logo, I just created something basic. And then site integrations is taking it to the next level up, which you're probably not going to want to hear about on this call, but we can always do it in future or ask a question. Down here, there's visit sites. You can easily see what the site looks like on the front end. We'll check that out shortly, but let's go to pages. So everybody has a home page set up, and you go to edit. This is the home page that I have set up, and I'm going to show you really quickly. This is one of our templates, and I'm just going to take you back and show you how I did that. So if we go back to pages, you create a page, and these are the templates. So we've got several templates in here pre-built that you can select, and then you build it in yourself. You would go to select the template, and when you're in here, you can edit every single part of it. The text, the size of the text, the colors, what that button says, whether that button's even there, what that image is. You can add blocks in by pressing a plus sign, pre-designed blocks. You can add in frequently asked questions. So our pages that are developed and set up already have all of these things built in. And as you move down, you can remove any of these, you can change any of it. So that's just one of the pages. So that's how I set up the home page. I created a page, and before I replaced the home page, this was the original home page. So this was the standard home page that was there. I duplicated it just in case, because if you're ever making changes to your homepage, always duplicate it and save it, just in case you change your mind or run out of time or something comes up. So then we're in the homepage. This is a template. You can see up here, I've added in a bar. You can work through all of these in the header setting. A bar that gives a header bar that you can add any offer into, and you can link that offer. So 15% off classes, come to a class, get your first class free, whatever it might be. This login area is for your students who are registered within the software. Maybe they've bought an offering from you or they've signed up to a course. You can easily adjust your header, the subscribe button. This is for your pop-up. And then you've got your list of things here. I'll show you where that comes from. So this is just some information I've shared here about how you would set up your website. So right here, the advice is have a tagline, speak directly to your visitor. This is called the above the fold page of your website, where everybody's going to land, and right away, is this for you? Is this the right place you want to be? So it's yoga for, or just that little description of who you are and what you do. So that's our above the fold. Then you put a bit more of a description here, and I'll show you all this on my website too. And then down here, the about you. So the advice that we've had in the webinars that we've done, and I'm going to share a link to one of those from our web designers who designed these pages for Offering Tree, is that your about you section here should be a really short, like here should just be really short text, but it links to a different page. So they're straight away, they're seeing an image. It should be an image of you. Preferably you're looking at the camera rather than looking away like this person, but you can look away as long as it's you. And then they'll learn more. It takes them off to another page. So that's if they decide that they want to learn more about you. Now down here, these are all optional. It's good to have like a little overview of the classes that you do. So this might be 3 different types of yoga classes you love to teach, or 3, like there might be meditations. You could be offering on-demand classes. You can do that in this website too. And again, images, you really want to try and aim for those images that are, when you're first starting out, they might not be you teaching your students, but if you could get a photographer or just get someone with a camera to come and take a few snaps of you actually guiding through yoga poses, it can really help to have yourself there. You can share testimonials here. You can also drop in one of these sections your Instagram reels. So if you're really experienced on Instagram, or you've got lots of things you want to share, you can drop in that and your Instagram will show up here. And then down here, there's just an option to add more text, like maybe this is more about what you do or your community or what your mission, vision, values are. And then other images down here, I've seen one of our users connect this to their blog. So every time you click on one of these images, it takes you to a blog post of theirs, which was super cool. This is obviously the header area, and all of this is adjustable. That offering tree, I can remove that by going over here into the footer settings, and you change out the brand image. So there's all of these really simple ways, and you can see you can add in more sections, you can delete these sections. Just we try and make it as simple as we can to have that landing page on the website that you can just literally go in and think, I need a website, I just need it today, spend an hour putting in some colors and some images, walk away, come back to it whenever you want to, fool around with it, learn new things, add new things. It's just there. So we wanted to take the tech out of the website. We wanted to take care of the tech, because pre-pandemic, it was like you needed a web developer, right, Crystal, who was coming in and doing your website. It was so complex. And then we went through the pandemic, and we realized if you were a yoga teacher at that time, did you have your contacts? Did you have any way of reaching out to your students? Most of us didn't. Most of us didn't even have a social media presence with our students. The studio that I worked for actually prohibited that in my contract, having that access to students. And then we learned through the pandemic that you needed this space to be yourself, to actually let people connect with you. So the websites became more important at that stage. So
Can I say something real quick?
yeah.
Because I know what people get hung up on, since you went down to the footer and you removed the Offering Tree logo. Something that people get hung up all the time on is logos.
Yeah.
Don't stress out about your logo. You're not going to not get students because you don't have a logo. But if you want to create something just kind of quick, you can go on Canva. So that's where you can create a whole bunch of images and graphics and things like that. But don't stress about it. And because honestly, like your students don't care. You can do that down the road. So don't let that hold you up with your website.
That's such a good point, Crystal, because we get hung up on the little details of like, oh, but I wanted it to look like this. And we always say done is better than perfect. Having it out
Yes.
there is more important than making it your visualization. Because if somebody's looking for you, right, they're not like, oh, I don't like the font in that,
Yes.
hopefully.
Same
Or if
thing
they
with the
are,
name. Same thing with the name. Oh, I've got to come up with this really fancy name. That's why I'm Crystal Gray Yoga. Yes, you can come up with some sort of name, but don't just call yourself whatever your name is plus yoga for now. You can always
yeah,
decide that later.
yeah, you're still the same person.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. That's why I'm yoga with Sinead as well. So yeah, down here you can see this is where we have all of these are different pages, right? You can schedule your offerings. I haven't scheduled any in this site, but you know what? I'm going to take you quickly over to my website. So if we visit my website, can you see that
Yeah.
page, Crystal?
Mm-hmm.
So this was based on a webinar that we did actually for Offering Tree. This is my tagline, Mindful Yoga with a Pelvic Floor Focus, because I'm pelvic floor obsessed. And then a little text down here that sort of gives people, these are the people I wanted to reach, right? If you're not interested in pelvic floor yoga, then maybe this isn't for you,
Right.
and that's fine. I've got a little link here. I've got this image of myself, did that with an iPhone. You can probably tell it's not professional,
I think it looks
but
great.
yeah, iPhones and any kind of
Yeah.
smartphone can do. And then, yeah, so I'm going down, little button
Because
there.
that's the other thing too. People might be like, well, until I get professional pictures. Yeah, that's nice. But a lot of times with the iPhone, you can get something. And don't worry either about if you don't have pictures of you in front of a class, like Sinead said, just have pictures of you doing yoga or like that one, just looking very friendly, looking at the
Yeah,
camera. But also,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be a real yoga class. You can get some friends around, you're having a family gathering or something, just like sit down real
yeah.
quick. Let's get a picture.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a shift now more towards those sort of natural pictures that aren't super photoshopped and that look professional. So I think there's that too. And then I've got down here a couple of little my yoga qualifications, a couple of ways that I offer yoga, a couple of testimonials coming down to the footer, linking social media so that they can go and follow me over there if they want to, and that adds more credibility, right? They can see all around it. And then up here, just a couple of different options for the pages. So what we learned in one of our webinars too from a web developer is only have like 4 buttons up here for them to browse around on your website. And you could have drop downs for these, but just having a couple of options here for them to look at. Don't overwhelm them, because people look at it and they're like, oh, I'm lost, and they click off somewhere else. You only have a few minutes to grab their attention. So grabbing it when they land, if you're for them, great. If you're not, also great. And then in the background of my website, I'm going to show you the email marketing because mine's more built out. So I'm not as frequent sending out my emails as I always want to be. Another thing that we overthink, I always overthink, oh, I need to say something so important and yogic and philosophical. You don't. So a lot of mine are just, here's class, bring a pillow. This is what we're doing tonight. It's really easy to send an email. So you go to create newsletter, which means create an email. You can filter by tags to include. So I have core and pelvic floor. I can email everyone on that list. Subject line. You can add in here, you've got your tags where it'll pull through everybody's first name. This is an example email, as it says there. So yeah, you personalize it with using their names. You can add files here into the email as well. And the email builder is something that we're working on this year, as well as the course builder in the software, where they're trying to make the emails look much prettier. They're pretty as they are, but you can actually, at the moment, you can't drop an image right into it. It goes to the bottom, I think, or have they already updated this? So let's see. Oh no, you can drop it in. So it's really easy to change this around, to change your text, bold, italics, add in images, and then you can preview your email. So as soon as I want to preview it, oh, I've not put a subject line in. So let's call it an update. As soon as you want to preview it, it brings up my email address. So it'll just send a preview to my own email and you can check it over and over if you want to. I get really checky. Always
Well, it's
double
never a
checking it.
bad
So,
idea, especially if you put links in there. Make sure that it's
yeah.
all right. Like, just take the time to do it.
And then if you want to send it, if you don't want to tag anyone out, you can send it to your whole list. You can select a roster. So if you've got people registered for an offering, you can just send it to those people. So that's where if you have a poem or an update for a class, you can do that. As long as they're registered for the class through your website, you can send it to them, or you can register them yourself through your website without them knowing. So for me, I teach at a local centre. I have all their email addresses, but I don't take their payments, but I do have their email addresses, so I can set them up in the system and then just fire off an email to them. But the way that I do it is by tags, actually. So I choose people who've signed up for which one and send it that way. So that's how the emails look. The contacts are over here. I'm going to discard that. All the contacts are here. And as you go into a contact, you can easily update, add a tag. Who are they? They subscribe themselves to your newsletter. So that means that you're allowed to send them out the general newsletter. You can still email them individually through the software, but down here it tells you what that person has done. So if they've been interacting through your website online. So I'm trying to think of somebody that I have who has interacted with my website. Let's look at Roisin's, and it will show you like a kind of summary of what they've done. And this is always handy to see. What did she? Yeah, so Roisin bought a couple of things here. Did they sign a waiver? So when they sign up for anything, including something in your online store, a course, or if they're registering for a scheduled class, you can set up a waiver for them to sign. So I'm going to head over to courses. Do you think there's anything else to cover there, Crystal?
I don't think so.
So for a course, this is, oh my gosh, why do I keep scrolling up and down? They've moved the online store. Can you see the online store there? Dashboard, visit point of sale, da, da, da. It's one of these things where I can't see.
Underpayments.
Oh, down here. Yeah, they took the online out. So you can manage your store. I'm going to take this back over to the standard concept, to the sample site that we're working with. So go there to store. So anytime you want to sell something, you do it through the store. It can be tangible items or it can be digital items. So in the digital items, you don't have to sell them. You can give them away for free. You can apply gift cards, coupon codes to it. You can do it in numerous different ways. So I've been messing around in here this morning just to look at a really basic online store. And I'm going to emphasize this is incredibly basic. I did this in like 10 minutes just so that you could see a little course set up in there. So I added a section, I called it Beginner Yoga 101. And then if we go over to the action and go into edit it, so it's Beginner Yoga 101. A call to action text. This is what you want people to see on the other side. I'll show you in a second the preview of what this looks like. A little bit of a description, an image. Is it digital? Is it physical? Do they need a waiver? So when you click waiver, you can add your own waivers in here. You can use the default waiver. So you create a waiver here, you would copy and paste in your text, or you use the default waiver, or maybe they don't need to sign a waiver, but if you're offering an online class, they do, usually for your insurance. And then do you want to accept online payments? So we integrate with Stripe, payment processor. But you can also, in order to offer an online class, you have to have the Stripe integration set up so that it can move through the process. But you can take manual payments and just mark it in the system. You can take payments on Venmo, Zelle, cash payments, check payments. You can give it away for free, whatever you want to do. So you're set up through Stripe initially. It's easy for them to pay through Stripe. They could also pay through Apple Pay or Google Pay. Or you can override that element when it comes to the payment side of things. So you set up your price. any way you want to. This is how you create a payment plan if you want them to pay in increments or want to offer that option. You can also do tiered pricing and donations. And this is something that's makes your yoga really accessible if you allow them to enter, actually allowing the people to pay what they can. So you can set a number of different prices here. You could call it community pricing, and it can be like $80, and then you can add a second tier of pricing, or you can allow them to choose what the pricing is if you want to do tiered pricing. So that's always really, really helpful for people if that's something that really suits your needs as a business. Down here, for everything in the online store, it can be part of a membership. So if people are paying for a membership, this is automatically going to drop in, or it can be part of a package. So if you are an online teacher and it's like they've paid for 10 classes and this is one of the classes that they're going to have, you get your options here for which one that you want to add it into. And then you can make it only available to membership and package holders so that nobody else can see it in the online store. You can change your access or update how long they have access to it for, if that resonates with you. So there's all these extra options for setting up the course. And then, so that's your landing page for the course, basically. And then we're going to add some content. So when it comes into content, we've set this up as a beginner level course. So for class 1, you're
Are we in the store right now? Just so I make sure, are we in the store? Is that
yeah,
what
this is
okay.
moving deeper into the store. So we've got like our kind of landing page of it. This is moving into the actual items for a course that you would set up. So
Nice.
I've just done this draft of 2 classes, right? Class 1, and these are nested underneath it. So I'll show you in a second the preview that you can see these. So yeah, say if you wanted some text to describe the class, if you want a PDF that's a download for them to use, and then a video practice. In the online store, there's 2 ways to add a video. You can add it from your desktop if you've got it saved there, or you can drop in like a YouTube, Vimeo platform link into the course as well, whatever matches yours. So I've added in a couple of different modules.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so for these videos, you know, for some other platforms where I add videos, I need to compress them. Would you recommend we run them through something like Handbrake or something before uploading?
Yeah, I think we have a limit. We have a pretty high limit. It's 2 gigabytes for an upload. So it's usually for most, like say 60-minute classes, you don't need to compress.
Okay, perfect.
But I think it's always worth it just in case, if like, because it can slow down your download potentially for the person that's using it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we've got a pretty open amount of gigabytes on that, which yeah, it's pretty cool. So then if I go to preview,
wondering what Handbrake is, that's another application. You can download that. So then you can open it up and kind of run your video through that. And you can go on YouTube and find a video on how to do it. Don't let that stress you out. Like she said, you don't have to do it, but it can be helpful once you get into the groove. Get into the groove first and then worry about that.
Yeah. And it's helpful for saving it on your own devices too, right? It takes up less space.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, if we wanted to go in, you can, for each part of this course. So this is class 1, Soulful Strength and Stretch. And let's say this is a sequence overview. Do you want them to be able to download it or not? The video, could they download it? And over here, you can rename it. You can download it yourself. So you've always got that access if you've uploaded it and then accidentally deleted it from somewhere. So it's, and I'm going to emphasize this is a basic course because I didn't add any imagery in or anything. This was really quickly made. But again, you can just drop things in. All of these, you can just move them around. And you can move the class sequences around, and you can add a new module that will be class 3. Okay. And it just drops in at the top, and then you move it down. So then if we take it to the, oh, and one thing before we go to the preview, you can do a drip content setting. So do you want them to get this all at once? Do you want to release different things at different times?
Yeah, perfect. Cool. This seems pretty easy so far, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The only thing it's missing that people will say from Thinkific is at the moment we don't have that, where you can see if somebody's actually done the course, like a complete.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We don't have that right
now.
Analytics for us. But it's very comprehensive otherwise.
And you could do other things if you need to know, that they went through, you could have a Google form or something that they fill out, or, some sort of
Yeah.
things. There's ways you can get around it.
Yeah, yeah, and check-ins with them, right?
Yeah.
So this is what they see on the other side. So they've signed up for beginner yoga, and here they see if you've allowed it to be released right away. They
Cool.
see what you've titled this folder. They see what's within it. You can obviously say, do this first, do this second. You can change this up. This is everything that they see. I've dropped in a little video there. Oh gosh, what a terrible screenshot that is.
Sometimes I'll just like put my terrible screenshots up because it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like, this is why you might use YouTube with a thumbnail. So yeah, it's just adding that stuff in. So that's what it looks like on this side. Now, I haven't really prettied this up. It can be prettier, but this is one thing that we're working on this year, is making the courses look a little bit better on this end, on the user end.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to a couple of our users who use the online store pretty proficiently to show you what they do. So Rachel Scott Yoga she uses Offering Tree as an embedded website to her actual website. So she's got quite a big platform, uses other different things, and Offering Tree is her online store. So you can see how I love this, because Rachel's come at it with that sort of designing influence where she's named things and everything is really pretty. And this is what your online course can look like. Using what button you want to use, having multiple things in there, setting different prices if it's the online store. So you can have an online store that sells stuff and has a course, right? So this could just be classes, downloadable classes, and down here is a course that you're selling. So your online store does a few of different things like that. And then over to this website as well, Sarah's website. Sarah offers a membership, and we can't get inside the membership because I'm looking at it from this side, and I don't want to infringe her privacy by going around the back end of it. But again, Sarah has quite a big online library. She teaches online and in person, and adds in lots of little things here. One thing I love about what Sarah does, she sends out a music playlist once or twice a month with her email newsletters, like, this is what I've been listening to. It's really cool. So Sarah has a membership as well. She offers this on-demand monthly membership, full access monthly membership. You can go to her in-person classes as well, I think. And then she offers class passes, private yoga sessions, drop-in passes for anything. So that's just a sample of Sarah teaches for herself now. But she teaches out of a community centre, and she teaches online, and she teaches part-time. She's got another job. So just the ways that yoga teachers can make it, build it, grow it out. It's just there for you to do. And this is what the schedule would look like if somebody wants to sign up for your offerings and you decide to offer things on the Offering Tree site. As I said earlier, we recommend using your own images. These are all Sarah. Sarah did have a photographer for these as well, and they're awesome. And it's really easy to register. You would go through here. I've got to be careful because I think I'm actually one of Sarah's clients as well, because she's a friend of mine. So I'm not going to register for that right now, but it's really easy for people to register and take the payment, and it saves their payment info if they want it. So yeah, there's a lot you can do. So I hope that wasn't too much info. Let me know. Do you want to see anything else, Crystal?
I don't think so. I don't want to overwhelm people. I'm really excited now. Because I do online. That's my main business, is online, but I am starting to do more local stuff here just in my small town. So that's what I use Offering Tree. So now I'm really excited to go in there and create a website just specifically for my local people, that I can connect to my local Instagram and my local Facebook page and things like that. So I'm excited. It's so fun. I love doing that stuff.
Yeah, and what I like about it is it's easy to use. So you can go in and you can fool around. You can set it up, and then you can go back and think, oh, I want to change this, and what would that look like? Or you'll take it. I'll share the link to the webinar that I mentioned earlier that's about building a DIY website. And it's a webinar that was run by our web designers who designed those page templates, Rachel and Angela. And it's about the things that you want to be aware of when you're building your own website so that it doesn't look, so it looks more professional, and things about like what to say on the about page. It's super handy. But yeah, it's easy to go in and adjust things in there. And I'll also share with you the Offering Tree user group
Okay.
information. It's you do need to have an Offering Tree account just to get in there, but it's a really helpful space. But also, like I said earlier, Offering Tree are really community focused, and as part of that, the actual co-founders reply to a lot of the emails that we get. So if anyone has any questions, it's just hello@offeringtree.com. Shoot us an email if it's like, can you serve this, or I'm kind of interested. If you get on our email list, you're not going to get bombarded with like sales tactics. It's just not that kind of approach. It's like, you know what, maybe we're a fit for you, maybe we're not. That's fine too, but we'd love to meet you and we'd love to know how we can help you. And for the people that are in the community, they do find it really, really easy and good for their businesses. So we'd love to have people there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, I just really like sharing companies that I feel like really care and are there to support you. And so I really feel like that with all of you. So thank you so much. And again, if you want to try it out, I highly encourage you to just try it out and get in there and start kind of messing around. And after this tutorial, I think it'll be much easier, especially with those templates. It makes it so easy. So it's www.offeringtree.com/Crystal Gray Yoga for those discounts to start giving it a try. And then you'll feel so good. You'll be like ready to put yourself out there more. You'll feel more confident. Well, here's my website. And yeah, it'll be super fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Thank
It
you
was
so
nice to
much.
meet you.
Have an
See you
amazing
soon.
day. And I'll put the links to everything else down below in the description that Sinead mentioned.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.